If you're looking for an easy start into the Pathfinder system, the beginner's box is really where you want to start. My name is Don. I'm trying to be the Sly Strategist, and in this video, we're going to go over how to get the beginner's box, what's all included in the kit, as well as what you as a player and as a GM can expect to get out of it. So I do have it right here. You'll notice that it's already open, mainly because I'll include a little video of me trying to open it. It is a very well put together box, and it is very well sealed. And as you'll see in the video, it even took me sticking my tongue out in order to kind of shake the box open and peel it up. But one of the things I want to cover here is basically we're going to start with how to get the system. So what I would like to do is I would like to kind of go through how you can order it from Paizo, the different formats you can get it, both in a box and a PDF. You can also get it through online realtors like Amazon. And then there's the various modules you can get for the different tabletop art or virtual tabletops, as well as some of the other ways that you can see some information about it. So we're going to start with ordering off Paizo. So I'm going to go ahead and start that. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to go to paizo.com. And then after you get to paizo.com, go to the Pathfinder tab and the beginner's box. Scroll down just a little bit and you can click on a little button that says order the box today. It'll take you to a second web page, and you're going to see over on the right hand side something that said add print edition, or you can do an add PDF edition right there. Then you go to your shopping cart and you can go ahead and begin the ordering process. One of the things I did mention a little bit earlier is that it is available for multiple systems. And if you scroll down just a little bit, you're also going to see all the various virtual tabletops, as well as some of the other ways that you can actually see it and get it. At $40 for the box and about $20 for the PDF, it's a pretty good bargain. And I really do suggest that you get it as your entry point into the system. I can't think of an easier way in order to really get started with it. Now, another way that I've seen that you can get it, especially the physical box, not the PDF, but the physical box itself, is off Amazon. I did look, and it's still Prime, but you don't get it overnight. I looked today, and the shipment date was 3 days in order for it to actually get to your house. So this might still have to do with the mass ordering that happened after the recent troubles. But it is still available. You can still get it. The difference between Amazon and getting it from Paizo, you're ordering directly from the manufacturer. They're getting all the support, and they know basically how much that they're ordering and how much people want this. And on Amazon, you get it from the Paizo store that's part of Amazon. I don't know whether Amazon takes a cut or not. Paizo will ship between 11 to 20 days from your order, and then you'll get it in about 3 or 4 days after that once it's actually shipped. Where in Amazon, you're going to get a delivery date. So depending on how quickly you want it, might be why you want to go between those two. Now, I also mentioned some of the modules that you can get that I showed you on that Paizo page there. There's the virtual tabletops, which I'm really not going to go into here. You can click on those links yourselves and see there is things so that you can, especially with Foundry specifically, that you can bring the whole module in. The other two, I believe you bring them in by PDFs, but the three that I wanted to mention that are kind of interesting are Hero Lab. Hero Lab is an online character creator like Path Builder. It is a paid service. Path Builder is also a paid service as well, so I don't want to make that a big differentiation. The advantage I see in Path Builder is Path Builder, you can do almost everything except for familiars and a few other things. I'm trying to think off the top of my head in the free version. I have not used Hero Lab, so I can't really speak to that, unfortunately, but it looks like a fantastic system from what I've seen online. Two of the other ones that were towards the bottom, there was one called Soundset, and it is a $10 package that you can buy, and it is basically the music that goes with the module. If you were to get it through one of the virtual tabletops, it is included in that system, but if you are just playing this physically around a table with some of the things that are included in the beginner's box, which I'm about to go through here, this would be the mood music and things that you can do to kind of bring the campaign to life. And then they had another link there that was for the Archives of Nethys. Now, that didn't cost anything, but when I clicked on it, it just took me to the Archives of Nethys Beginner's Box section, which basically just included all the equipment that you can get while doing the module. I didn't really see anything else in there, but if anybody else knows a little bit more about that, feel free to correct me. I'd be more than happy to put an addendum to this or put something in the comments in order to clarify what you get with that. Now that you know how to get it, we're going to go ahead and show you what you actually get inside the box. So, like I said a little bit earlier, I've already opened the box. Didn't want to go through that again. So we're going to go through and pull stuff out one at a time and show you what's included. We're going to start with the dice. You do get a full set of dice. One of the things to note is that they're all separate colors. A really good thing about that is if you're new to tabletop RPGs, a D8 and a D10 look incredibly similar if you're not used to actually looking at them. And you can just say, oh, you need to roll the orange dice, or oh, you need to roll the green dice. And as you'll also see when we get to the character sheets, is that those are color-coded too on the character sheets. So it makes it kind of handy. So this is a really good set of dice if you're going to be physically playing it and not on a virtual tabletop. Another little thing you get is you get some token bases. There are tokens included, and we'll cover those in a second, including one really big one, which might be a spoiler, that there is one really big token. Mine has a little red token by itself here over on the side. I have also seen them green, looking at some other beginner's boxes. So you get all the token bases. At the very top sheet you're going to get in your box is you are going to get a read this first. It is what is Pathfinder. It also tells you what to do if you want to play this by yourself without a group, or if you want to play, or if you are playing this with a group, just where you need to go within the manuals that are included. As well as on the back side, it kind of gives you a list of everything that's included in the box. And one thing I did want to note here is it says you get 4 player cards. I got 6. So I'll show you that here in a second. Player cards. Like I said, I got more than the 4 that they said that was going to be included. They're kind of handy. They're very handy, actually, even after you've gone beyond the beginner's box. Let's see if I can't zoom in a little bit and show you. It tells you basically what conditions you're going to run into in this particular game here, as well as it gives you a little primer here on the 3 actions and a reaction that you can have, as well as you'll see in these little token spots here, there are physical tokens down here that you can actually pop out of the cardboard and place on there so you can keep track of what's going on, as well as a little bit about basic rules and some of the actions that you can do. So these cards are very handy, and they might take you well beyond just the beginner's box. Next comes the character sheets, which are very well done, I think. So you get 4 of them. You get Valeros, Kyra, the cleric, Mauriciel, as well as Ezrin, a wizard. We'll go ahead and do Valeros. They're all pretty much the same, especially in the format and how they run them. One of the things I wanted to highlight here is, if you're looking at it, is you'll see on the side there, you'll see where we have the dice. It does have those color coded, so it tells you that the D8 is orange and the D10 is green. So that's super handy. One other thing I'd like you to notice is if you see anything that is red or orange, such as your hit points and things like that, those are things that you are going to be rolling. They're highlighted so that you can quickly see what's going on. Something else that's pretty handy is if you look over here, you'll see that it has little yellow designations at the beginning, like for defenses and saving throws. And if you look over here on this side, you're going to see those same letters here. So anything that's on the one side, you can look on the other side and it'll give you a brief explanation. As well as it gives you some of their actions that they can do. For this, you have your attack of opportunity, shield block, raise a shield, how to do sudden charge. And for each one of these characters, it's going to give you what action that they can do as a level 1 character within the beginner's box. That's really handy, I think. Other nice thing is that you can read this little description of the character, and it tells you, especially if you're new to role playing, it tells you how to play the character. So you don't have to magically come up with something on your own. And it's really helpful, especially if you haven't played before. So once again, I think all 4 of these are very well done. The beginner's box I played, I played Mercial actually, and 2 people who were part of my group rolled up their own characters. So there's nothing saying that you have to use these 4 characters. You could use some of them, you could use none of them, and you all could roll your own characters. These are just ones that are really good introduction to the system. The next thing you get is you get the Player's Handbook. Player's Handbook is 73 pages of information. It gives you a really good basis to the game. If you'll, let me do a quick comparison here and go behind me. So, this is the core rulebook. And this is the beginner box rulebook. This is close to 700 pages. And this is just the 73. So that also includes game mastery, so all the spells that are available in the base game itself without getting the advanced player's guide and Secrets of Magic and some of the other guides that are available. But this gives you the rules you need in order to play the beginner's box. The beginner's box is, we'll talk about the structure here in a little bit, but it is really meant to be an introduction. So especially if you're playing the 4 pre-rolled characters, some of the complexity, I don't want to say it's cut down as in it dumbs down the game. It just limits you all the options. Like the 4 pre-rolled characters, you don't see psychics or inventors or some of the more complex characters to play. And this beginner's box player's handbook really tells you the rules. It talks about equipment, talks about dice and just how to get started playing the game. Something I really recommend, and it because it's only the 73 pages, it's not that onerous in order to try to read, especially if you know that you're playing a character, you're going to play a wizard. Well, it has the wizard spells in here. You don't need to read before you play the beginner's box. You don't need to read what the fighter can do, what the cleric can do, what everybody else can do, because those characters are going to be played by someone else. So you don't have to read the whole book. But I do recommend the first few pages until it starts getting to the specific characters for everyone to read. It gives you a really good basis. As I mentioned, the next thing you get, if you are going to play your own characters as opposed to the 4 pre-rolled characters, it does include 10 character sheets here. Very well done. They aren't just for the beginner's box. You can use these character sheets forever. These are some of the best character sheets that I've seen, if you really want to know, represented. Pretty heavyweight paper. They're not just on cheap paper. Very well printed, as well as giving you more information on the back for your equipment and notes. So once again, this is really well done if you want to create your own characters for the beginner's box. The next thing we have here is the Game Master's Guide. Now, the Game Master's Guide, I haven't read this yet because I just played it, and there's not even a crack on the spine of this at all because I haven't really gone through it that much. I've paged through it. I'm going to be careful not to do any spoilers here, like show monsters or that kind of things. But what this does is after I played it, I did read the first couple sections here without going too far into it. It basically gives you the information you need to know in order to run the campaign. Paizo's really good at Adventurer's Paths as far as giving information so you don't have to create things on your own. This goes to a whole nother level. If you want to go talk to the proprietress of the inn that you're staying in where the adventure starts, it tells you the background. It describes the room. It tells you who's in there. And once again, with the music it gives you stuff to play in the background for ambiance while you're trying to run the game and trying to get new players to get involved and to really experience what playing a tabletop player is like. Really well done. This teaches you how to be a game master in a very basic and very step-by-step setting. Very well done. Also includes a nice little quick rules reference on the back in case something comes up. Next thing we're going to pull out of the box, and I'm going to back up for this, is a map for all your encounters. Once again, I don't want to do too many spoilers, so I'm not going to bring this in very close. Just going to show you two-sided, very well laminated. If you are going to use the tokens and you're going to be playing on an actual tabletop yourself, this is laminated, so I can see a dry erase marker going very well on this. And it has multiple locations, so really, really handy if you're going to play this on an actual table with people right in the same room with you. Very well done. Next, we have all those tokens I mentioned. I don't want to go too much on the creatures. Let's see if I can't find something, not that's necessarily safe, but something that's low level enough. Well, I'll just kind of do a little highlight thing here. I was talking before about those little action tokens. You can go ahead and pop these out, and you can use these on your character cards. You basically have 4 token sheets that include everything in the game. And art's very nice. Definitely don't want to show that sheet where the big token goes to. But once again, everything you need to play the game. As well as if you're going to go beyond just the beginner's box, it isn't like these characters, especially all of them, are key to this particular campaign. You can use these later on in multiple adventures. And at the back, you get a little advertisement for Pathfinder Society. It's Paizo's continuing society. I haven't really gotten into the Pathfinder Society yet. It looks very interesting, and maybe that'd be a good video to do later. As well as Adventure Continues. It tells you what you need to do once you're completed with this campaign, and you can go ahead and kind of move on and see where you want to go next, what guides to get. It's really, really good. And the next campaign off this would be Troubles in Otari. I know I'm currently just started an Abomination Vaults game as a player, and because of the setting of that particular game, I don't want to give too much away. I don't want to do a spoiler thing, but the beginner's box is a good jumping off point for a couple different adventure paths. So, and we have some characters in the game that haven't played Pathfinder before. They're the other game refugees. So we're doing the beginner's box. So I'm going to be running it a second time because it's a very good jumping point for multiple games. And unfortunately, that's the end of the box. But I do really, really like everything that comes in it. I think it's very well done. I have looked in the store. I haven't bought them, at some of the other beginner's boxes for some of the other games out there. This is $40, so it's not chump change necessarily, but it isn't that expensive, and the quality of it is pretty high. And it's so complete. I can't really stress that enough. It really is just so complete. With that being said, showed you everything that's in the box. Now, the last thing I'd like to cover is what you can kind of expect to get out of playing this game. No spoilers. I'm not going to tell you anything that you shouldn't know before you go in. But the way that this particular adventure is structured, it very, very slowly eases you into doing new actions. How to say this without doing spoilers. As you progress through the story, you're going to be doing this one small thing. Then the next interaction you're going to have to do that one small thing you already did, plus this and this. And then you're going to go to your next interaction that you're going to have, and then you're going to have to do those 3 things. Plus you might have an option of doing this thing or this thing. It doesn't matter which one you choose. because you're going to be doing both of these a little bit later on, because every single interaction in the game builds off the thing that came before it, both as a player as well as a GM. And it really slowly eases both sides into how to play the game. One's not leapfrogging over the other. You could be, matter of fact, I believe when I read the instructions, I started reading especially the Game Master Guide. Like I said, I read the first section of it. It basically says you give your players their player characters, especially if they're playing the pre-rolled characters, and you let them read that for 10 to 15 minutes, and that gives you enough time to read the first 3 to 4 pages of this, so you know where to go. So it literally takes both the player and the game master step by step through the process, so both of you learn how to play. You don't need to know how to be a game master before you play. This is your introduction. And in truth, one of my goals for this whole little series I'm doing here, and the only reason why I started this YouTube channel, is because I'd like to learn how to GM. This is going to be my first adventure that I GM for, and hopefully I'll get a chance to video it and put it on this channel. I really can't say too much more. I've been pretty effusive, I think, on what I thought of it. I personally enjoyed the adventure as a player. The GM I had seemed to really love playing it, really loved GMing it, really loved acting it out. He had done it a few times, and he even had voices all set up, and really good GM, and I'll be more than happy to give any shout outs to him if anybody asks for it in the comments. But I give it a buy. I really recommend that you go out and get it. It is by far the easiest way to get in the system, and I have started 2 other campaigns. Once again, I mentioned the Abomination Vault, and I just started a Gatewalkers as well. And I don't feel, as a new player, because remember, I'm a new player myself. I'm not the Sly Strategist yet. But as a new player, I don't feel like I'm far behind the more advanced players, simply because I do have a bit of experience, and I've been eased into the system. So with that, I guess we're going to call this video to a close. I would really appreciate it if you liked what happened here. You can subscribe, you can like, feel free to leave comments. I'll be more than happy to answer anything I can. And if I can't, I'll say it all the time, I will try to find the answer for you or find someone who can. And one other thing I'd like to add is, once again, I am new to this system, both as a player and as a GM, and heck, even doing YouTube channels. So if you have a correction, feel free to let me know. I will be more than happy to annotate the video or in the comments. So with that, I appreciate you guys listening, and you guys have a good day.